the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today, though the circumstances are a little funky. But, well, hey, it's like, this will probably be a relatively short episode for the most part, but hopefully it's something that's, people are interested in hearing, I guess, even though there's opinions everywhere. I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, hopefully this is a good product for you, we'll say, because this is a topic that, is floating around all over the place with the whole white privilege tweet from Dejounte Carrington towards the Indiana Fever and Sophie Cunningham. There's definitely been a battle forming in the WNBA that is like of epic proportions. You never saw this coming, basically, when Caitlin Clark came in the league for the Indiana Fever. This is the most you'll probably ever hear me talk about the WNBA on this show or Timberwolves Explosion. Timberwolves Explosion, there's no way in heck I'm ever going to really dive deep into this topic of Timberwolves Explosion, because that's basically a basketball show, and well, I mean, that we're just not going to talk politics on that show. Or freedom of thought is freedom of thought. We're going to talk politics a bit here on Freedom of Thought today, which is what freedom of thought really is in so many ways. Apologies needed. A little air conditioning. It's kind of hot and humid. I didn't want to. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is a mobile episode if you can't tell, because there's no way I can do this at home. My wife's at home, and I just do not want to talk politics with her there. I just don't. So it is what it is. It's a mobile episode for that reason. And it's kind of humid and nasty out this evening here on Sunday night, August the 9th. Our anniversary, basically. Oh, goody, right? But yeah, I mean, we already had our anniversary dinner and everything. But anyhow, the WNBA, it's literally become like a war in the WNBA. For some strange reason, let's just say the minorities, the minority stars and minority players, generally speaking, Angel Reese, people like that, have been just going crazy anti Caitlin Clark because of attention she's getting and such, and they think it's just a bunch of white privilege, and they're doing everything they can to like cheap shot her time and time again. Power forwards, enforcers, you could say, in the WNBA have been doing that. And then Sophie Cunningham started standing up for her a bit. Obviously, luckily, they're teammates on the Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham, little tall, nice-looking blonde lady. I wouldn't say Caitlin Clark's one of the better-looking girls in the WNBA. And ironically, the Minnesota Lynx have what I think is one of the better-looking players in the league. But I think she's got crappy attitude. That would be Nafisha Collier. Not a huge fan of her as a person, as a player. Okay, decent. But anyhow, again, WNBA, I'm not big in it because of the constant politics. It's been nothing but politics, but mostly extreme left-leaning politics in the WNBA. And finally, when you have something maybe semi, kind of, sort of coming from the other side, or like an independent point of view, which is what Sophie Cunningham is, and Caitlin Clark is probably more on the independent side. I wouldn't be surprised if she leans left. I think she kind of does on a lot of things. But apparently, I don't know, with the way she's been treated in the WNBA and how they keep kind of basically slamming their hardcore politics against her, I wouldn't be surprised if Caitlin Clark maybe started moving more towards the right, and I hope she does. But yesterday, as Sophie Cunningham, who again has been a controversial figure in the league only because she's not for trans playing in the WNBA, trans men, transing into women, that type of thing, trannies, you know what I mean? Like this guy named Jack is now Jill, you know what I mean, and wanting to play in the WNBA. Many years ago, there was a guy who had transed into a woman and was hitting home run after home run in the softball, and it's like, but at least he was honest about it, and back then it was okay to still say he because, well, if it's a guy, it's a guy. Nowadays you can't just say that. Oh my God, it's legal. And then, people anywhere from some random person on TikTok or Instagram to a high-ranking executive in a company, they put she, her, or he, him, or whatever for pronouns in their profile on like Outlook and such. It's enough to drive a person crazy. Sophie Cunningham spoke out against trans playing in the WNBA, and then of course, our great Lynx coach, obviously a Hall of Fame coach, Cheryl Reeve, Hall of Fame coach. They've won 4 championships. Well, not lately, and last year I thought they massively underachieved and started making fools of themselves in so many ways last year. The Lynx and Nafisha Collier. Cheryl Reeve went absolutely ballistic in a game when the Lynx got knocked out by the Phoenix Mercury. I didn't like it either, and the fans were being complete jerks to Cheryl Reeve, just kind of taunting her like, ha ha, we beat you, and she was like, F you, F you, F you. The game wasn't even over yet, but it was basically over, and she was ejected at the end of the game, and the fans were taunting her, and she was telling fan after fan, bleep you, bleep you. Not professional. I completely understand Cheryl Reeve's competitiveness and anger and frustration in that moment. But, of course, when Sophie Cunningham, and the Indiana Fever, obviously along with Caitlin Clark, came to tip off, in a major showdown against the Minnesota Lynx in Target Center, which is our local building here if you happen to not be from the Twin Cities, or Timberwolves fan or whatever, because the Timberwolves are the primary caretaker there, of course. They came to town. Sophie Cunningham had recently made her statement about the trans, and then Cheryl Reeves wears a shirt basically saying the opposite thing. So insanely frustrating, to say the least. Basically, Cheryl Reeves' shirt said, trans kids belong. She was wearing a shirt during the game. She's wearing like a shirt saying trans kids belong. So just to kind of slap Sophie Cunningham and anybody that agrees with her in the face. Thanks. And of course, this is, the Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minneapolis, St. Paul, whatever. The Twin Cities, as cobalt blue as it gets when it comes to politics. Ridiculous. Ultra, pro everything on the left, no matter what. 1,000%, and how dare you disagree? Like, if you disagree, you're like the scum of the earth, and you need to, go somewhere dark and hot, basically. You get the idea. Whereas, I don't know, like, you cannot have an opposing opinion, yet they continue to call Trump's presidency a dictatorship. It's just amazing. These same people are calling Trump's presidency a dictatorship and no kings and this and that. Yet, you cannot have an opposing view without literally people going ape crap on you regarding the hard left, particularly in this town, but really throughout the United States of America. You really can't have a freedom of thought with these people. They try to cancel you, they try to get you fired from your job, so on and so forth. Whereas Sophie Cunningham, everybody's going out against her. Fine, Cheryl Reeve has a right to her opinion. She has a right to speech, whatever, all of that. It's just ironic that, we got 1,000% go the opposite direction, because that's just how we are here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Twin Cities and such. So it's enough to drive you crazy. Now, what happened yesterday is this Dejanay Carrington, as Sophie Cunningham was going up for a layup, basically hooked her, literally put her arm around the girl's face in midair, around Sophie Cunningham's face in midair. If you probably saw the replay a million times already, but if you didn't, she basically wrapped her arm around the girl's face, so she went, curling to the floor as hard as possible. Sophie Cunningham, was obviously ballistic and furious, was incensed and wanted to beat the bleep out of Dejanay Carrington, and Carrington kept running her mouth as well. Carrington was ejected and suspended. She takes to Twitter and writes the 2 words that I guess all of us expect in this day and age with the way these people think. White privilege at Indiana Fever. So let me get this straight. It's okay. It's okay to literally hook someone's face and throw them to the floor in midair. Well, while they're in midair, trying to drive to the basket. Driving to the basket on a layup. That's okay. She could have broke the girl's neck. She could have had a terrible concussion. That would be Sophie Cunningham. Just any way possible to go up against these evil white people on the Indiana Fever that happen to be a name. It's just the most terrible thing. And then the comeback from a lot of people, which is hilarious, that are defending Sophie Cunningham and are saying, yeah, shut the heck up, Dejana Carrington. Pardon me. I keep wanting to call her Cunningham. She's basically bleached her skin so she's whiter, and she has a very, very long, very light blonde wig. It's not the ugliest thing in the world. I'll give her that. I'll give her some credit, and she's not the worst looking girl in the league, let me tell you. But the attitude is all that matters here. And at the same time, white privilege, yet it's almost looks like you want to be on the whiter side of things versus what you're supposed to be. Darker, and probably shorter hair than that, and darker hair too, and not long and straight. Now, you have a right to have the wig, you have a right to have this and that. It's just strange and ironic that you would do all of that and then have the gall to say white privilege. Now, the Minnesota Lynx have the best record in the league, but regarding the politics with this team and this town, I'm done with the Lynx. Done. And I know, you probably don't care anyway, and they probably don't care at all. But I'm officially not going to support them anymore in any way, shape, or form. Not that I ever really, truly did, but I'd kind of bandwagon-y jump in when they make the playoffs. Okay, I hope they do something. Wow, they almost won. A couple years ago, it felt like they got robbed against the New York Liberty in the final game, because WNBA, the finals went to best of 5. And it was the final game in New York, and even the commissioner of the league was wearing a Liberty shirt. That's pretty biased. Or a New York, skyline shirt or whatever the heck it was, Statue of Liberty. It was gee, what the heck? And then it felt like the Lynx got a lot of unfair calls in that game. It was extremely frustrating. So I was defending the Lynx and was pissed off at that loss and everything. But now it's you know what? Bleep them. Bleep their politics. Because the Lynx represent nothing but the hard left, as far as I'm concerned. Fine. I mean, it's go Fever from here on. God bless the Fever. If they can go all the way, great. If not, I guess that's unfortunate. I'm not going to watch the sport, but I will defend the Fever 1,000% in this whole situation, particularly Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark, how they've continuously been putting up with this garbage from these other players in the league that seem to hate them because of the color of their skin, which, I thought that's called racism, isn't it? So, but it's okay if they do it because, well, it's white. They're just fighting against white privilege. You see? No, I think that's complete BS, and I think it's time more and more of us told a lot of these people that want to constantly call everybody racist and white privilege to shut up. Shut up. Enough is enough. Shut up. It's time for them to shut up. Take this nonsense and go away. Enough. Enough with the white privilege up in your face BS. Enough of it. I'm done hearing about white privilege, okay? I don't want to hear about any privilege for anybody. Enough. Especially in the day and age when, well, it seems like other people go to the front of the line for things like school, jobs, obviously free school, free college, jobs, and such. They go to the front of the line for jobs a lot of times, like I just said. Very often, other groups don't apply, but you get to go to the front now because, gosh darn it, white privilege, is we're going to stand up against white privilege. Well, seems like you're knocking out a bunch of other people too when you do stuff like that. But yeah, the frustration is off the charts when it comes to that, and it is time more and more of us told a lot of these people that a lot of them are angry white people, angry white liberals, talking about white privilege and how we need to cut it out and everything. So it's I don't know, I think all of us need to step up to the plate and tell these people to just shut up. Shut up. Enough. We're tired of hearing about this. Enough already. You have divided this country enough, and it's time to, it's time to unite rather than divide. Enough with this division. Stop beating up on players because they're not agreeing with you on everything in the world that you want, be it this or that, be it trans, be it race or whatever. I'm trying my best not to go too far, and because obviously, I mean, we're all of us want to be friends. All of us want to be able to get along with people. At least I think most of us do. We're not out there walking around saying, "Oh, I don't talk to that person because they look like this," or "I don't talk to that person because they look like that." And it's extremely frustrating, but it feels like it's been happening a lot more, going the opposite direction, way too much. And I think it needs to stop. I think people need to be more open-minded to everybody, and without bringing race up every 10 seconds. It's possible to get along. It really is. But if you refuse to get along and you constantly want to, accuse people of white privilege, you're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to be divided forever. And it's just stupid. And you're going to motivate people to do things they really shouldn't be doing or saying or feeling. It needs to stop. That's enough. Okay, with that, thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Check out the Twitter account. Everything should be in the show notes. So if you really want to, get in touch or just keep up with the show, thank you so much. Please subscribe. Encourage your friends to subscribe. And I hope I didn't go too far today. I really hope I didn't. I'm just sick and tired of hearing all of this crap, white privilege and such. I'm tired of hearing of it. It's enough. It's enough for me right now. And I hope it's enough for you as well. With that, thank you so much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.